Right. So last week we discussed until the 20th question, as I remember. So today from to 23rd question we are going to go, because after the 19th question you have given me the number 23. Yes, so let's go through the number 23, and if you need me to discuss any question in the 2017 paper, like you can always suggest, right? So I can go there and do the uh, explanation, right? Okay, so in 23rd question, they say consider the following statement related to database software. A collection of fields related to one object is called a record. A collection of fields related to one object is called a record. Yeah, somewhat correct, but it's little bit doubtful. A collection of related table is called a database. A collection of related tables is called a database, which is a correct one, right? Because database is consist of tables which are related to each other. So B is definitely correct. A foreign key of one table is the primary key of another table. A foreign key of one table is the primary key of another table, which is correct again. That is the definition that we are talking about, right? So the C part is also correct. So B and C should be in your answer. So it is either 3 or 4 for the situation. A collection of fields related to one object is called a record. When it comes to the fields, the problem is, are they talking about the name of the fields or the data which is whole belongs to the fields, right? It will be very much better if it says a collection of data which is under the fields related to one object is called a record. So let's refer the marking scheme, how they have gone with this. Yeah, for the 23rd, yeah, they have taken the fourth one. Yeah, but fourth one is not a very good explanation, but we have to go with it. So first one is taken as a correct answer as well. So that is why they are gone for all A, B, and C. Right, moving forward, 24th, consider the algorithm in the following flowchart. Yeah, the values will be displayed for X and Y respectively if the inputs are X equals 10 and Y equals 20 for the given flowchart. Now we have to clarify the outputs. So how we are going to clarify that? We are going to see how the hand tracing process is going to go. So let's start. So the first statement, it will get start and input X and Y. So my hand tracing part, I will be having a X column and a Y column, right? So in the X, they have said X can be taken as 10 and Y can be taken as 20. So I'm going to take 10 to X and I'm going to take 20 to Y. And it is asking a question, X larger than Y, right? So X is 10, Y is 20. So 10 less than 20, right? So which is true, that means we are going to go on the yes path, right? So along the yes path, they are saying assign Y to Z. Now Y is 20, so 20 will be assigned to something called Z. So we are finding another variable called Z. So Z will be assigned as 20. And in here it says assign X to Y. X for Y to the. So X means 10. 10 will be assigned to Y. So 20 will be replaced with 10. And then it says assign Z to X. So Z is 20, X is 10. So 10 is replaced by 20. Then they are saying display X and Y. So we are having a selection over here, no iteration. So it is just flow on the relevant path. So X and Y will be displayed. So X is 20, Y is 10. So on that manner, we are going to go with the third answer. Right. Moving forward, 25th. Consider the following pseudocode label P to find the product of numbers from 1 to 10. Now, in this particular question, you don't have anything to think about the algorithm or the way it happens, right? So where you need to worry about is this place where the condition comes. Right now, in the pseudocode, we know there are two iterative structures which we are discussing, which is the while structure and the repeat until structure. So while structure always allowing us to go inside the loop if the condition is correct, right? So then until the condition is correct, the statement under the while loop will get executed. And when it comes to the repeat until, it goes the other way around, right? What will happen is when the condition is incorrect, or like until the condition is incorrect, the repetition goes on, right? So in here, in this particular question, you should find something as a condition which is going to be incorrect or false until this repetition happens. Now, this says, the question says it is an algorithm to find the product of the numbers from 1 to 10. And you can see there are two statements which are being assigned to product and number as 1 and 0. And in the repetition, in the repeat structure, they are saying add 1 to the number and have product into number and again assign it to the product. So what we are going to do is, what is actually happening is, the number is increasing one by one. We can understand it, right? So the product is going to produce the product by multiplying the product value with the corresponding number value for that particular iteration, right? A මොහොතට A iteration එකට අදාළව තියෙන product එකේ number එකේ ගුණිතය අරගෙන ආයි product එකට assign කරන එක තමයි ඒගොල්ලෝ කරන්නේ. Right. So now from the question we know we have to iterate this from 1 to 10. That means 10 times, right? So your condition should be something which helps to iterate 10 times, right? Okay. Now let's consider about the conditions, right? The first condition is saying number larger than 10. So for the very first moment, for the very first iteration, the product is, I'm taking it as P and I'm taking number as N. So the product is 1, number is 0, that is how it starts. Then it says repeat, number equals number plus 1. So N will be increased by 1 and product equals product into number. So 1 into 1, again 1 will be produced, right? Then they are going to check the condition. So in the condition, it says number larger than 10. So now number means this, which is 1. Now here 1 larger than 10 will happen if this particular condition is at the p's place. So 1 larger than 10 is a false one, right? So 1 larger than 10 is false. So false type of a thing should be there as a condition because it is the repeat until structure. So one can be taken as a one can be considered that is going to be an answer. And if you look at the second one will definitely not going to be an answer because this says 1 less than 10, which is true. Excuse me. If it is true, it's not going to repeat. So then, because of that, 2 is out of context. And if you look into the third answer, it is also can be considered as a correct one. Like correct one means can be a correct one. Because it says number larger than or equal to 10, something little bit similar to the first answer. And the fourth one again, which is similar to the second answer. So it's not going to be a correct answer because in the very first time, it's going to be a false one. Now the problem is, what is the correct answer from 1 and 3? So to do that, we need to identify how the pattern goes on, right? Now, when it says to calculate the product from 1 to 10, if we do it manually, we are going to do it something like this: 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into go on up until 10. So that particular thing should happen in here, right? Now, n is 1. 1 into 1 is produced. So let's continue and see, right? So let's think our condition is going to be this particular thing, right? So number larger than 10. So condition is true. So I'll explain it from the beginning, the hand tracing part. At the very first, let me start it from here again. Yeah, at the very first time, product is 1, number is 0, right? So this P is for product, right? Not for your answer. I'll write product over here, otherwise you guys get conflicted, right? N is for number. So product is 1, number is 0. Then they are saying number increased by 1, so it will increase to 1, and product will be multiplied by the num and reassigned with the product. So 1 into 1 is 1, right? Then condition, number larger than 10. So that is what we are considering, the answer of the first, the very first choice, right? Then number is larger than 10. No, it is false. So it is going again and number will be increased by 1. So it is going to become 2. Then 1 into 2 will be calculated and product will be reassigned with 2, right? Then again go and check the condition. Then this will increase by 3. Then 2 into 3 will happen. So it will produce 6. Now identify the pattern of this thing. So when it is 1, it produces 1. When it is 2, it produces 1 into 2. When it is 3, it produces 2 into 3, right? So it is going in the pattern of like this, starting from here. Second one is this, third one is this, right? So when it is 4, it's going to produce us 24, which is going to be this, right? So likewise, අපි ඔහොම පහළට ආවොත් what really will happen when it is 9, it will produce what? When it is 3, it produces 2 into 3, right? Number එක මම මෙතන ලියන්න මේ පළවෙනි ඉර තියෙන්නේ number එක 1 වෙච්ච වෙලාවේ දෙවෙනි ඉර තියෙන්නේ number එක 2 වෙච්ච වෙලාවේ තුන්වෙනි මේ ඉර තියෙන්නේ number එක 3 වෙච්ච වෙලාවේ. Right, so if it is 9 it's going to produce what 8 into 9. Right, this particular thing will happens, right? We can this particular thing කියන්නේ අර සම්පූර්ණ කොටස එක වැඩි කිරීම දෙක වැඩි කිරීම තුන වැඩි කිරීම 8 වෙනකන් ආපු උත්තරේ 8 වැඩි වෙනවා 9ත් එක්ක. Right, ඒක සිද්ධ වෙන දේ සිද්ධ වෙන්නේ මෙන්න මෙතන. So on that moment your value is going to be what 9. So when you are having 9 you will be having 1 into 2 into until 9. This particular thing will happen, right? So then condition will be checked. So it is still false and it will increase to the next one 10. Then 1 into 2 into 10 will happen, right? So now we have received the answer we want, right? මුල ඉඳලා product එක හරියට ඇවිල්ලා 10 වෙනකොට numbers 10ම වැඩි වෙච්ච answer එකක් create වෙලා ඉවරයි. So hereafter we need to stop the repetition. So that means you need a condition after this particular moment. ඒ කියන්නේ දැන් මෙතනට එනවා කියලා කියන්නේ මෙන්න මේ කොටස සිද්ධ වෙනවා කියන එක. Sorry, I'm sorry. මේ කොටස සිද්ධ වෙනවා කියන එක. ඒ කියන්නේ දැන් ඔයාගේ final answer එක ඇවිල්ලා ඉවරයි. Then we have to stop the iteration. So to stop it, when we are checking the condition must be a true one now, not a false one, because false will not repeat now. So if the condition is the very first choice, it says number larger than 10. So in this particular moment, our condition is going to be 10 larger than 10, which is not true. 10 is equals to 10. So that means false. If it is false, iteration happens. But we don't need the iteration now because we are having our answer. So to stop this, if we are having something like this, 10 is larger than or equal 10. So it is not larger than but equals. So equals part give you true. So it stops. So for that particular reason, the answer can be taken as third one. Because after that particular step, we need to stop our iteration. Right. Okay, people, did you got this? Let me have the confirmation. Or do you need to explain it again? Right. Okay, Sayuri, how about others? Right, great. Right, others? Right, okay, Daniel? Yeah, people, how about others? Right, okay, Amashi? Right, so if there is anyone who need me to clear it again, just you can ask me always, right? Okay, I'm moving to the next question. So the 25th you have asked. So to go with the 25th, I need to clear this mess up. Hold on a second. Right. All right, we discussed the 25th, so I'm going to go with the 26th. So to go with the 26th, I have to clear up this part. So I'm clearing it up. Right. So the 26th. So 26th is saying which of the following pseudocode segment is equivalent to the logic of the algorithm given in the flowchart. So to get to know whether the algorithm is correct, we have to go through the hand tracing part of the flow chart to understand what's actually happens with the algorithm, right? So we are starting. So we start n equals 0. So here I'm having the my hand tracing part. So n is equals to 0. I'm sorry, not 10, 0. Right? Then it says n equals n plus 1. So n will become 1. And display n. Yes, here it goes the display and 1 will be displayed. And n is larger than 9. Uh, so that means in this particular scenario, 1 is larger than 9 that they are asking the question. No, it is not. So we are going on the no path. So we are iterating. So then goes and increase the n by 1 again because we are reaching here again and display n. So 2 is displayed. And again, now the condition is 2 larger than 9, which is no again. So goes again and increase the n again and displays it. So now you know the pattern, neither increase in it and display it, increase in it and display it, right? So likewise, this will comes until 8. So 8 කියන තැනට n increase වෙනකොට you are going to display the 8, right? When n is I'm sorry, when n is increased to 8, you are going to display 8, right? Metherin increase una to 8 and you are going to display the 8 there. That is the pattern, right? Then n is larger than 9. They are checking the condition. So here it is 8. 8 is larger than 9. No again. Goes down, goes up and increase into 9 and 9 will get displayed. Then 9 is larger than 9. Now here you are going to receive 9 is larger than 9. Still it is no, it is equal. So goes again, increase by 1 and display that particular thing, right? Then this is going to be 10 now, 10 larger than 9, which is yes, it is going to stop. So your displays are going to start from 1 and to 10. So this is the way that the flow chart works. So now let's quickly go through the pseudocodes, right? So the first one says n equals 1 while n larger than or equal 10. Okay, so for the moment it is okay. 1 is larger than or less than or equal 10, so 1 is less, right? So they're asking me to increase n by 1, so my n will become 2, then display n. So this will display 2. And there we are going to have a problem because in our display it starts from 1, right? So here it is going to start from 2. 2 is the one which is going to display. So it is incorrect because of this, right? And if we consider the second one, it says for n equals 0 to 10 do display n. So for loop, we know starting from the value which we were given and ending from the value which we are given again, right? So it will start from 0, goes up to 10. And it is asking to display n. So the very first display that you are going to have is 0, which is not our display. Our display is starting from 1. So it is wrong again. If you got the third one, they have said n equals 0 at the first place, and the condition is says n less than equal 10. Again, it's okay. So going inside the loop and displays n. So this n displays 0, right? Because it is starting from 0. Again, it is incorrect because our displays are starting from 1. So the correct answer can be considered as the fourth one. So it says for n equals 1 to 10 do. So start from 1, goes up to 10. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 will be there. Right? So it's the answer for the 26th one, which is the fourth. All right. Is it clear, people? Give me the confirmation. Right. Okay. So let's move into the question number 30. Oh, 27 is asked to discuss. Yes, 27. This particularly. Yes. So in the marking scheme, they have taken the answer all for this particular question. The reason is this. So if you hand trace this particular question, they're asking how many stars are going to be there, right? So it is started from 0, x, and it says do. This is a do while. Now, while and do while are like something very similar. The only difference is in a while condition checks first, then comes into the iteration statements. But in do while, iteration statements will be executed first, then check the condition, right? So for the very first time, that can be happen. So then if the condition is true, they will iterate. It doesn't matter while or a do while always goes with the correct condition, right? With the true part of the condition, right? So here displays a star. So I'm going to have the display line over here, and it is displaying a star. And x is increment by 2. So then it is checking whether x less than 5. So that means 2 less than 5, which is correct. So that means you are going to repeat again because it is a do while. And displays a star and x increment by 2. That means 4 again. And then it checks whether 4 is less than 5. Yeah, sure, hey Shani, join with the phone, no problem. So 4 is less than 5, which is correct still. So go and display the star. And x increment into 6. Now 6 is less than 5, which is an incorrect one. So our iteration stops. So your display is having 3 stars, but number 3 is not there in your choices. That's why they have gone as all, right? So 27, you got all correct regarding the question. Now in your paper, if you found something like this, mark some question, mark the answer, right? Because now if you do not mark any answer, they will consider it as a neglected question. එතකොට ලකුණු දෙන්නේ නැති වෙනවා. මොකක් හරි උත්තරයක් ලකුණු කරලා තියෙන්න ඕනේ to get the marks, right? All right. So moving to the 30th question. Which of the following is proposed deployment approach for the information system? Yeah. Now, deploy systems we talk about, there are 4 things. What are the deployment systems? There are direct deployment, which you are going to take your existing system away and take in the new system at once, right? Direct deployment. The advantages will be you will be able to experience the new system by day one. And the disadvantage is, in case if you lose, or like in case your new system got any problem, you don't have any backup, right? Because your old system has already taken away. And the second way is the parallel deployment. So in parallel deployment, what we are doing is the old system and the new system are ran, or like are running for certain amount of period, right? So they are going together. So once the users are confident with the new system, the old system will be stopped and new system will be continued, right? So the advantage is, if you got some problem with the new system, still you are having the old system as a backup, right? So nothing serious will be there, right? But the disadvantage is you have to do the same thing, or like the same task twicely, because you are having two systems now until it is deploying parallel, right? So you have to do the thing in the old system as well as a new system. That is a disadvantage. It consumes more time. So the third one is the pilot deployment. So pilot deployment means the entire new system is going to introduce to a part of the organization. Right now, if you consider your school, if your school is having a primary section and a secondary section, the new system entirely will be deployed to the primary section, and primary section will be considered as the pilot project, right? So it is deployed there, and primary section users are asked to use the new system. They are not using the old system. But the secondary section is still using the old system. So once primary section is okay or confident with the new system, then all the sections on the organization will be installed with the new system. So that is what we call the pilot deployment. Primary section was the pilot project in my example. And the last one is the pace deployment. Now, pace deployment is like we are having parts of the new system and replace those parts in the old system, right? That means you are ඔගලන්ගේ හිතන්නකෝ new system එකයි old system එකයි puzzles දෙකක් කියලා, right? So what you are doing is ඔයාගේ old system එකේ තියෙන එක puzzle piece එකක් අලවලා new system එකේ puzzle piece එකක් එකට hide කරනවා. So that particular part is having the new system, the part of the new system. The rest of the organization is having the old system parts, right? එක හරියට බයික් එකක දේවල් අලුතෙන් කෑල්ලෙන් කෑල්ල හයි කරනවා නේද? අලුත් බයික් එක කෑලි කරවලා පරණ බයික් එකේ ඒවා රීප්ලේස් කරනවා. වගේ පැටල් දෙක පරණ බයික් එකේ පැටල් දෙක ගලවලා අලුත් බයික් එකේ පැටල් දෙක හයි කරනවා. So that particular thing is experience the new system, and all others are experience the old system, right? එස ටික දවසක් ගිහිලා සීට් එක පරණ බයික් එකේ සීට් එක අයින් කරලා අලුත් බයික් එකේ සීට් එක හයි කරනවා පරණ බයික් එකේ දැන්, right? So likewise, the new system, the old system will be replaced by the parts of the new system. So those parts are called paces, right? So that is called the pace deployment. So within the time, the old system will be entirely replaced by the new system, right? That is what you call the paced deployment. So in the question, what they are asking is, which of the following is proposed deployment approach for the above information system? Now, above information system means I have to read, we have to go through this particular thing. Now, here they have said currently users of the school library can reserve books by filling the form. The library informs the user by sending a letter when the book is available. Sometimes the library informs the wrong users by mistake. The librarian is planning to introduce a new information system to replace the current manual system. With the new system, a user can reserve a book online. The system sends an email to the user when the book reserved is available to borrow. The librarian suggests that the both manual system and the new system to operate till they make sure the new system works without any problem. So the last line or the last sentence clearly defines librarian is going to use the parallel deployment because she needs the old system and the new system together to operate until she is confident with the new system. So it is definitely parallel. That means the first one is going to be the answer. Right. So moving forward, 33rd. Yeah, in the 33rd, yeah, this is regarding the email, right? We'll refresh our knowledge with this as well. So it says 2cc BCC, right? Now, what you can see is the person, the main recipient will be written in here. So in this question, Ajit at doe.lk is the main recipient, right? And Ajit can see the CC people as well as CC people can see the Ajit as well, right? So once it is received by the Ajit can see, okay, this has been sent to the Rizvi and Kumara, as well as Rizvi and Kumara can see, okay, we got a copy of this particular email which is being sent to the Ajit as well, right? So Rizvi can see Kumara and Ajit. Kumara can see Rizvi and Ajit. The mail has been sent to those people, but not the Frank. Now, Frank can see both the CC and the two people, but 2 and CC are not being able to see the BCC, right? Because blind carbon copy is the way you are sending an email to a recipient without informing the others or without seen by the others, right? So that is the relationships between two CC and BCCs. So here what they are asking is, if you send this email to Ajit at doe.lk as given above, who are the recipient that Ajit will see as having received this email? So Ajit can see Rizvi and Kumar has received this email, but not the Frank. So only Ajit doe.lk wrong. Only ajitdioi.lk, Rizvi, and Kumara. Yes, that one is the correct one. Ajit can't see the Frank, so this is wrong because it says it can be seen by the Frank. Only Ajit and Frank? No, not again. So the correct answer is going to be the second one. 34th, which of the following HTML can be used to provide a substitute information for an image if a user cannot view the image due to slow internet connection? So when the internet connection is slow, some of the images are not being loaded, right? So we know if an image is not being loaded, if there is an alternate text inside your coding, that alternate text will be displayed. So how we are going to define the alternate text? When we are writing the img image tag, so img is the main tag, then src will define what is the image, right? So ab.jpg, let's say. So that is the image. And alt, this is the attribute which we use for alternate text. So if you say here ab pic, this particular word is going to be there on the web page when the image is not being loaded to the web page for some reason, right? So it can be a slower internet connection, it can be a corrupted image, it can be the image name is wrong or image extension is wrong, right? Somehow if there is a cause to not to display the image, and again if you are given with an alternate text, that particular alternate text will be displayed. So for this particular question, the answer is going to be ALT. Yeah. So moving to the 38th one, consider the following statement. Uninterrupted power supply UPS, software firewall, use of username and password to log into the computer. Which of the above are example for logical security? Now, logical security is involved with the intangible things. Physical security is the one which is involved with the tangible things. So UPS is a tangible thing. So it is a physical security. Software firewall, when it comes to the software, because firewall can be stated as like as a software and as a hardware. So software firewall is an intangible thing. And use of username and password, again, those are characters which are intangible. So B and C can be taken as logical security, right? So the answer is going to be B and C, right? So we are there to do the lesson, right? Which we are going to do very soon, right? But for the moment, let's go on like this, because I'm a little bit busy these days creating the lessons for the TV programs, right? So excuse me for this particular period, right? We'll discuss it very soon, right? Okay, 38 is done, right? So you can learn from this point as well, right? අපිට security දෙන්න පුළුවන් ක්‍රම දෙකක් තියෙනවා computer එකට. එකක් තමයි physical security එක, අනිත් එක logical security. So like physical security can be given with some devices which are tangible, right? If we use a UPS, when the power supplies goes out, computer can hold the like computer can be given, system it can be given the power by the UPS for a certain amount of period. So we can save our workings that we are currently work with, and like shut down the computer, right? And there will be something called surge protectors, which are used to get safe from the lightnings and any high voltage differences. So the surge protector will uh, uh, like make your computer safe, or like protect your computer from the lightnings and these high voltage situations, right? And there are logical security situations as well, like we discussed here. You can have a software firewall, and again there is something called hardware firewall, which is a physical security. So you can use a software firewall. Firewalls are there on your computer. You may have experience in some program installations. The firewall will pop up and say, do you allow the firewall to have this program inside your computer, something like that, right? So firewall is like a, like you can remember the wall which is around your house, right? So whatever the things that is coming to your network or to the computer is being protected by the firewall, right? If the firewall allow them to come, so it is that particular data will be allowed to go inside to the particular computer or to the network. If it is rejecting it, that particular data cannot be entered to the computer, right? And the username and the password, again a logical security way, right, which we are giving and which is known only by us. So we can give the security for computer by using the username and the passwords, right? So moving to the 40th question. Yeah, consider the following statement. Careless disposal of electronic waste into the environment. Now, what is electronic waste? Yes, that is something you to learn by the last lesson. So electronic waste means the goods that we are going to get rid of due to the outdated situation, kind of goda paranaina, or due to the broken situation, kadilana, right? And however, it's going to be an electronic thing, right? So careless disposal of electronic waste into the environment, which is not a good one, because these electronic devices are containing a lot of what unhealthy components to the environment, right? To the soil, to the air, right? To the water, even to ourselves as well. So when they are mixed with the soil, water, and air, they will be like, again, they will be come back to ourselves in many different ways, right? So there are a lot of components like cadmium, chromium, right, and polyvinyl chloride, right? So there are many different things, right, which are like giving us a very bad health injuries, like cancer causing, right, and some breathing issues, right? Those kind of things. So careless disposal of electronic waste into the environment, handing over unusable compact, fluorescent light, the CFL bulbs and other electronic devices to recycling centers, sell or donate working electronic devices to other without discarding them. Yeah, now which of the above are examples for safe e-waste disposal? So when it comes to the safe e-waste disposal, there is a concept called 3R, right? Now 3R stands for reduce, reuse, and recycle, right? So one thing that you can do is you can reduce the things that you are using. Reducing means like if you if you got a problem with your phone, you can make it correct instead of buying a new one, right? So you are reducing the devices that you are going to use, right? So indirectly, it will reduce the electronic waste to the environment. And reuse, right? So like it explains on the choice C, sell or donate working electronic devices to others without discarding them. So that is what you call reuse, right? So there's something that I have used already is being used by someone else because I have donated it or I have resell it, right? So again, that particular person is not going to buy a new device. So he's going to use the same thing. So which is indirectly minimizing the production of the electronic devices, and again, minimizing the electronic waste. And recycle. So there can be devices which cannot be used or which cannot be fixed anyway, right? So that particular things can be taken by the recycling centers and will be crashed and or like decompose into the components that they want, and they can reuse those things on the new devices, right? So that is what you call the recycling. So your B choice is talking about the recycling part, handling over unusable compact fluorescent light bulbs and other electronic devices to recycling centers. So B and C is a saved e-waste disposal. So the answer is going to be B and C. Right. So with this, we are done with the MCQ paper. So have the marks. See how many is correct by 40. Right. So I'm moving to the next part, which is the part B. So let's start discussing that. All right. Give me a second. All right, moving forward, let's go with the marking scheme. It will be much easier for us to discuss. Yeah, so in the paper 2, the first question is convert the binary binary number which is given in the octal on the binary to the octal. So how we are going to do that? We are going to take the binary number and divide into groups which has 3 bits inside a group, and we are going to convert that 3-bit binary number into the equivalent decimal. So then we are going to find the answer for the octal. So let me take the marking scheme to the whiteboard, so it will ease me to go with this. Right. Oh my God. I think I have taken something different. Yeah. Give me a second. Right, let's go through. So here it says, yeah, this is the first part. Yes, so the the taken binary number can be divided into groups like this. So like this particular group will be given as the decimal equivalent, which is 4, which is 1 in here, and which is 7 in here, and which is 6. How we are going to take this? By considering the place values. So place values will be 1, 2, and 4 for these place, right? So by considering those place values, we can take the answer 6714 in octal. Or else you can do the hard way. You can convert the binary into the decimal and decimal into the octal, right? Again, still you are going to have the 6714, right, as the octal value. And in the hexadecimal, they are asking us to convert the hexadecimal into the specific binary. So how we are going to do is, you are going to write each and every hexadecimal component by a 4-bit representation, right? So that 4-bit representation contains the place value of 1, 2, 4, and 8, right? So those things can be filled for the this particular thing. So to create 2, 1 will be here and zeros will be at the other places. So if you consider this particular part, to have 5, 4 and 1 is going to be there as ones, and these will be zeros. And for this one, for 7, these 3 places will be ones, and this is going to be 0. So according to that, this is going to be your answer, or you can omit the leading zeros and the not the trailing zeros, only the leading zeros, right, in your answer. So it's going to give you something like this as well, right? So if you have these things, you can have 1 and 1 for each steps, like 1 for the hexadecimal conversion and 1 for the binary octal conversion, right? So that is how the 2 marks are given. So the next part, the second one, so they are talking about a particular gate, right? So they are talking about a flashlight which need to be light up on the scenario of having a motion sensor and where you don't have the light, which means in the dark, right? So here it says the flashlight with motion and the light sensor is located outside the front door of a building on automatically when it is dark and when someone approaches the door from outside. Yeah, now here the question is a little bit not very clear. Let's go to the question in the question paper. Yeah. Yeah, the lights turn on automatically when it is dark and when someone approaches the door from the outside, when both conditions are satisfied. When both conditions are satisfied. Now that is the one that you need to capture, right? So this is the golden line. The light turns on when it is dark and when someone approaches the door, right? So from that it says the motion sensor turn from off to on when someone comes near the door, right? So it is went one, so someone approached the door means it is 1, indicated by 1. And the light sensor is on when there is light and off when there is dark. So light sensor is on when there is light and off when there is dark. So dark means it is off. So that means it is 0, right? So then to have the flashlight on, that means metana eka wenna nang, right? You should get 0 and 1 at this particular place, right? Metering in only 0, metering in only 1. right? එතකොට light sensor එකෙන් දෙයක් දෙනකොට ආව 0 කරගන්න නම් මෙතන not gate එකක් තියෙන්න ඕනේ. Should have a not gate. එතකොට it says both the scenarios should be satisfied and then Q is going to be an AND gate because both scenarios are going to satisfy. තුලමඩ තප්පරයක් දෙන්න. Right, so you can argue on that manner, or else you can have the expression, right? So The light sensor is going to should be 0, and motion sensor should be 1, right? I'm taking the lamp as the bulb, like the B, so it should be light up. So you can write it B equals L should be 0, that means L bar should be there, and M should be 1, so M should be there as it is. So these two things should happen together. So that means and is there, right? Hari. Right. Sorry for that. Hari. Make a තේරුණාද කට්ටියට? Feedback එකක් දෙන්න. කොහොමද මෙතනට ආවේ කියන එක? Right, great. How about the others? Right, great. Well done. Okay, so the answer for P is going to be a NOT gate and Q is going to be a AND gate, right? So in the second part, they are asking, what are the suitable logic gates for P and Q in the above circuit? Oh, so that is the one. So in the B part, they have said, identify which of the two in the following statements are correct regarding the modified circuit given in figure 2. Write down the relevant statement numbers. Yeah. So they have modified the above circuit with another OR gate, where a switch is being introduced. Yeah, Danidu, yes, Puta, what you are saying is correct. What you are saying is correct. So, yeah, it was my mistake. You should have one over here because the light sensor is darkness. So here it is producing 0, Puta. So 0 is going to convert it into 1. That was my mistake. Right? 0 should be produced to 1. Then motion sensor is giving 1. So it is 1 anyway. Because light sensor is giving 0. It is darkness. So it should be converted into 1. Right. Yeah, now here that they are asking is they have fixed a switch, a separate one, and it is going to fix with the flashlight, where you are given the ability of having the switch to on and off the light separately, right? Because this is a OR gate. So if you are having one from this particular point, so it's going to be 1 over here. So your final answer is going to be 1 anyway, because this is a OR gate, right? So here what they are saying is, when a switch is on, the flashlight will always be on. It is because switch is on means it is giving you 1. So one will be received here. Since it is a OR gate, one is going to be the output, regardless of the other input, right? When switch is off, the circuit behaves as the circuit in figure 1. Yeah, now, if you look into this carefully, this is 0 means it's like you are not having anything, right? So that means the lighting up of the flashlight will depends on this particular input. Neither, because if this is 1, if this is 1, the final output is going to be 1. Good morning. Okay, okay. So go. Right, okay. And if this is 0, okay. If this is 1, it's going to produce you a 1 at the output end. And if this is 0, so both are going to be 0, then it is going to be 0 again. Right? Now, in the previous example, as you can see, if you have 1 over here, flashlight will be on. If you are getting 0 over here, flashlight is off. So same scenario goes here. Right? And it will affect the final output as well. Right? So when the switch is off, it acts as the very same way of the previous circuit. The behavior of two circuits are identical. And now that is going to be quite a problem because it is not identical neither. උඩ එක්කෙනා මෙයා 0 වෙනකොට switch එක දැම්මොත් flashlight is going to be on again. නේද? ඒ කියන්නේ අපිට දවල්ට වුණත් ඒ කියන්නේ දවල් වෙලාවක මිනිස්සෙක් කවුරු හරි මොකක් හරි ඔබ්ජෙක්ට් එකක් ලයිට් එක ගාවින් යනකොට ලයිට් එක on වෙන්නේ නැහැ උඩ තියෙන සර්කිට් එකට අනුව. But here we can do that. අපිට switch එක දැම්මොත් ඕන වෙලාවක flashlight එක on වෙලා තියාගන්න පුළුවන්. So the behavior is not identical. Right? So third one is wrong. So this is correct. This is correct. Those are going to be your answers. So that's why the answers are saying over here as, hold on, how they have said. Yeah, what they're asking is the identify which of the two in the following statement are correct regarding the modification given in figure 2. So 1 and 2. So for this, you are getting 1 mark. Right? So for that particular question, writing not and will be having 1 mark, and writing 1 and 2 for the B part will be having another mark. Right? In the third one, they are asking you to calculate the number of different colors regarding the things. If only 2 is correct, yes, hey Shani, let me see, they haven't talked about any partial marks here. Yeah, I think you are going to lose that 1 mark then, hey Shani, because they haven't talked about any partial marks over here though. Right? Okay, here what they're asking is, assume that 4 bit per pixel are used to represent a color in a color representation system. So colors, I'm sorry, question complete. Assume that 4 bits per pixel are used to represent a color in a color representation system. How many colors different from each other can be represented in the system? So it is very easy. So bits per pixel are going to be taken into 2 to the power. Then you are going to receive how many different colors are there. So it's 2 to the power 4, which is 16, right? So that is why they have done this calculation over here. So 2 marks are given for that particular thing. So it's better you remember that. Because prominent අපි 2018 paper එකෙත් අපිට මේක හම්බුණා 19 වලත් for sure මේක තියෙන්න ඕනේ, right? Okay, in fourth part it says Sama goes to the bookshop to buy 3 exercise books and 2 pens, and after finding the items she takes them to the counter where the sales assistant scans the barcode sticker attached to each item into the information system in the shop. Quantities of each item are also entered into the system. The system calculates the cost for each item and the total cost of all the items. Then the system prints the bill for the transaction. Write down one example for input, process, and output of the information system. Yeah. So I'm going to underline the inputs from red. No, input from blue, right? So Sama goes to the bookshop, buy 3 exercise books and 2 pens. After finding the items, she takes them to the counter where the sales assistant scans the barcode sticker. So then the barcode is going to be an input, right? And to each item into the information system in the shop. Quantities of each item are also entered. So quantity of each item going to be an input. The system calculates the cost for each item and the total cost, all the items, then system prints the bill for the transaction. So processors, I'm going to put it from the red. So these will be the processors. Calculate cost for each item and calculating total cost. There can be 2 things, right? Total cost of all items, right? And the output is print the bill, right? So these are going to be your answers, right? So barcode, quantity of each item is going to be the inputs. Calculate cost for each item, calculate cost for all the items are going to be outputs, and bill is going to be your those are the calculation calculates the cost for each item and total cost for all the items will be processors, and prints the bill is going to be your output. Reading the barcode as a process. Let me see. Yes. Yes, that can also can be taken as a process as well. Reading the barcode. Yes. Or this scans the not scan. Actually, the reading the barcode. Let's refer the thing. Yeah. Yes, they have same. So input, barcode, and quantity. One of those. Processors converting using barcode or reading barcode, calculate cost of items, calculate total cost of items. Yeah, output, which is going to be the bill. So the way they have given the marks is for input 0.5 marks, for process 1 mark, and for output 0.5 marks. So you have to take it on that manner. Okay, moving forward, the 5th one. The following ports, label A to F, are found on the computer. Write down the relevant label of the port related to the following questions. Which port can be used to access internet using a network, UTP cable, network cable? So it's going to be the RJ45 port, which is the E port, right? So for A, it's going to be E. What port can be used to connect a digital camera to copy photos So it's basically the USB port, which is the D. So port C is the HDMI, where we use the use to connect the projectors, monitors, kind of things. And the port R is going to be the VGA port, where we used to connect the monitors through them as well, right? And the port A is going to be a PS2 port, right? Which they used to connect the mouse and the keyboard in older times. We are not connecting now. Now we are connecting the mouse and keyboard through the USB in most of the cases, but still you can find the PS2 ports on your system unit, the back panel, right? So the answer for the A is E, answer for the B is D. Yes, just a second. Right. Moving forward, the sixth part. Yeah, the document given below was created using the word processing software, and it was formatted as indicated by labels 1 to 4. Assume that the font size of the document has not been changed. Oh, so once you, yeah, so what you have to do is you have to compare the things, or like you have to see the modifications and පොතේ මට තත්පරයක් දෙන්න. Hello. Good morning. තියෙනවා මිස් 9 ඉඳලා 11ට තියෙනවා. නෑ නෑ මිස් තියෙනවා normally තියෙනවා මම පැය භාගයකට කලින් වගේ දාන්නේ. 8:30 ට දාන්නේ. Right, okay. Okay. කමක් නෑ. අද ඒකෙන් තමයි කරන්නේ. පුළුවන් නම් ඒ කියන්නේ අද ප්‍රශ්න කීපයක් අපි කෙරෙන්නේ. ඒතකොට ඒකේ තියෙන දේවල් ටිකට කමක් නෑ. අර පුළුවන් නම් 9ට කලින් කලෙක්ට් කරගන්න බලන්න. නෑ. ඔව්. හරි කමක් නෑ. කමන්න මිස් බලන්න කොහොමද කියලා. හොලක් නෑ. හරි. No problem. මම notes ටික දීලා තියෙනවා මිස්. ඊයේසදී notes ටික දුන්නා. ඒක නිසා ඒකෙන් වැඩේ කරගෙන යන්න පුළුවන්. අර පොත තියෙන එක වඩා හොඳයි. මම මේකට ලියා ගන්නකෝ. හරි මිස් right okay. හරි. Right. Sorry lamai. Right. So what we have to do is we have to compare the two situations and see which kind of tools are being used to do the modification. So if you compare the first and the left side and the right side, the heading, they have changed the font and they have center aligned. So for that, you have to use A and the L to do the modification. So one can be A and two can be L and can goes other way around as well. එකට L කියලා අරගෙන දෙකට A කියලා ගන්නත් පුළුවන්, no problem. And for 3, you are going to have the underline part, which is the E. And for the fourth part, they are talking about the subscript, right? If you want to take a letter which is below the writing line, so we are going to use the subscript. So if you are going to move it to the over the top line, it's going to the things that you are going to use is the superscript. right? So it's going to be F for the fourth one. So 1 AOL, second, uh, it is going to be the, if the first one is A, the second one is going to be L, third is E, and fourth is F. So 0.5 is given for each part, right? And the seventh, determine whether the following statement are true or false. Yes, write down the statement number and the statement true or false. Yeah, it's going to be like this. Internet protocol address is used to uniquely identify a computer on the internet. It is not even not on the internet, not even on the internet, as well as inside a network. You are going to use the same thing. File transfer protocol is used to transfer files between remote computers. It is true. That is why file transfer computer protocol is there, to transfer from a file from one computer to another computer by like using a cloud service or kind of a thing. Hypertext transfer protocol is used to exchange HTML document. Yes, so HTTP stand for hypertext transfer protocol. So the name defines it, hypertext transferring, right? And the fourth one, files and folders in a cloud computing environment can be accessed without an internet connection, which is not possible because if you are going to connect with the cloud, you need the internet. So it is false, right? So true, 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 and false are going to be the answers. In the eighth part, some icons used in graphic design software are labeled as A to D. Yeah, so this is the way that the graphic design software are tested in your paper. So it's better you go through the tools, the picture of the tools, right? And most of the tools can be identified by its picture which is given, right? So the A, it can be taken as magic wand. In your syllabus it is not set as the magic wand, right? එයාට කතා කරේ අපි වෙන නමකින් නේද? මටත් Photoshop පාවිච්චි කරන නිසා magic wand කියලාම තමයි මතක. What was the thing? Hold on. Let's see it from the with the G. Yes. So this is the tool that they are talking here, fuzzy. Yes, fuzzy select tool, right? So again, this was in the previous syllabus. They called it the magic wand, right? So that is why magic wand is there. So if you got it wrong, you can take it as a correct answer because it is in the previous syllabus, right? So have the correct answer and have the marks, right? Magic wand tool. And the next one is the lasso tool. So in our one, we are calling free select tool in the gym, right? So it's free select or else lasso. In gym, they don't call it as lasso. Lasso is a word which is taken from the Photoshop, right? So again, you can have the marks for that if it is wrong, and write the correct word regarding the gym free select tool. A is the fuzzy tool, right? C is move tool. It is always move in the gym as well, right? Make elaborate, move tool like a, right? So it is move always. And the D is the clone stamp tool, right? The clone stamp tool, we use it to clone some things, right? It can එක තැනකින් copy කරලා ඒකම තව තැනකට set කරගන්න. ඒ කියන්නේ එතකොට we can like copy a area to some other place අපිට අවශ්‍ය විදිහට, right? ඒ කියන්නේ copy paste එකක් නෙවෙයි අපි කරන්නේ. අපි යාට position එකක් දෙනවා. ඒ position එකට අදාළව අපි තව තැනක paint කරනකොට අර position එකට අදාළව තියෙන දේවල් ටික paint කරනවා. Right? So that is what we call the clone stamp tool. In Gim, I remember it's the very same way. This is the, yeah, it is clone tool that they are talking about regarding that particular mark, right? Don't worry, in your examination, it's going to be terms from the Gim, right? Okay. So for A and B, you can take marks regardless of the correctness of the words because you don't know about those, right? But for the part C and D, you should match that. හරි. එතකොට magic wand එකෙන් මොකද අපි කරේ? fuzzy selection tool එකෙන් අපිට පුළුවන් like එකපාරට එක જાතියේ colors ටික තෝරලා අරගන්න fuzzy select tool එකෙන්. lasso tool එකෙන් අපිට පුළුවන් අපි කැමති හැඩයක් select කරගන්න. right? ඒක free hand tool එකක්. So when we click and drag it around the object that we need, so it will get selected, right? And move tool, you can move the layers on the Gim here and there, and clone stamp as I described it to you. So the next part is talking about something like this. So the following diagram shows the interaction between a user and a computer system. Let's finish the first part and end the session. That means the first question. User and the computer system identify matching items for label A, B, and C in the diagram from the following list. Write down the label and corresponding terms. Daddy. Yes, baby, that will come. So hardware, application software, operating system software, and liveware are there. So user is interacting with the application software, right? So application software is on the operating system, right? And user is also interacting with the operating system as well. So B is going to be operating system. A is going to be application software because they are interacting with the user and the operating system. And C is going to be the hardware part because hardware is interacting with the operating system, not with the user, right? Hardware means the things inside the system in it. The other hardwares are, yes, interacting with us, but not actually, not directly. නේද? අපි keyboard එක එපුවම keyboard එක OS එකෙන් තමයි තීරණය කරන්නේ කවුද click කරේ මොකද්ද වෙන්නන්න ඕනේ කියලා. Right? So according to that, A is going to be application software, B is going to be operating system, C is going to be hardware. So 1 or 2 correct, 1 mark, all 3 correct, 2 marks. That's how they have given the marks. Right. The very last part is talking about an array, right? Assume the dice was thrown 10 times and the 10 values obtained are stored in an array named A. The following algorithm with missing PQR is used to calculate how many times a number 5 was obtained. So once the values which you are getting from the dice for the 10 different times are stored in here. So first time is under the 0th index, second time is under the first index, third time is under the second index. Likewise 0 to 9 it stores 10 values. නේද? ඔක තමයි තේරුම් ගන්න ඕනේ. බිංදුව ඉඳලා 9ට යනකොට numbers විදියට ගත්තොත් 10ක් තියෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ 10 වතාවක් 0 to 9 store කරන්න පුළුවන්. So what the requirement is how many times that the number 5 has appeared in here, right? So they have taken count as 0, I as 1. So while I should be less than what? I is there, I is related with the what? The in the incremental manner. මෙතන තියෙනවා යාව increase වෙනවා කියලානේ. I equals I plus 1, right? And the count is there, count plus 1, so that means it is increment as well, right? So what the algorithm should be, we are going to consider the very first part of the array, then compare it with the 5, whether it is equal to 5 or not. Then if it is equal to 5, we increment the counts of 5. If not, we are just moving to the next one. නේද? එතකොට මෙතනදී මේගොල්ලෝ Q කියන එක්කෙනාව පාවිච්චි කරලා තියෙනවා square bracket ඇතුලේ. So this is something referring to your array. So A, what is going to represent inside brackets is going to define the index, which means these regarding your array. So අපි කොහොමද කරන්නේ? පළවෙනි එක්කෙනා refer කරනවා කියන්නේ we are referring A0. දෙවෙනි එක්කෙනාව refer කරනකොට we are referring A1. When it comes to the third, we are referring A2. So this particular place 0, 1, 2 is going to increase 1 by 1. So there should be a variable which increase 1 by 1 and going to represent inside the square brackets. So Q is something which increase 1 by 1, and that Q is not going to be count. It's going to be I, because I is the one which start from 0, and that particular I is increased 1 by 1 right after the if condition. So in if condition, they count the number of 5, because that is the condition we are having. ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන number එක at position එකේ තියෙන number එක පහ නම් count කරගන්න. So if it is 5, then count. So that count is counting like number of 5s, right? So R is going to be count, then count equal count plus 1 is going to be there, and this Q is going to be I, right? So AI, A0 for the first time, then I is increment by 1, then again goes up A1 for the second time, then I is increment by 1, A2 likewise it's going to be. So when it is being increased, it's compared with the 5 whether the particular value is equals to 5, right? අපි දැන් මෙතනට ආවම A2 කියන කෙනා ආවම it's equals to 5, so then they increase the count by 1, right? So Q is going to be I, R is going to be count, P is going to be, they are talking about I, so the range of I is going to start from 0 goes until 9, right? This is the range of I, right? So P is, it should be less than, so we have to consider whether it is 9 or 10. I is starting from 0, and if it is 9, I is I plus 1 is 9. මෙතනදී මෙයා 9 උනායින් පස්සේ 9ත් මෙතනදී check වෙන්න ඕනේ. So I less than 9. එතකොට මෙතන 9 තිබුණොත්, if this P is going to be 9, 9 less than 9 is going to be a false one. So 9 කියන කෙනාව consider වෙන්නේ නැති වෙනවා. P වෙනුවට 9 තිබුණොත්. So for that reason, P should be a 10. Right? එතකොට 9 කියන කෙනාවත් consider කරලා ඒ 9 කියන position එකත් compare කරලා then I will become 10. Then this will become 10. Now it is false, so iteration stops. So P is going to be 10, right? So let's see the marking scheme. Yeah, P is 10, Q is I, R is count. So for P they have given 1 mark, for Q they have given 0.5, and for R they have given 0.5 again. Right, so that sum up the first question. So the next questions are due. We are going to discuss it by next week. So people continue doing the past papers, right? We are going to discuss them, right? So next week we are going to discuss rest of the 2017s, and if we are done with it, we are going to move to the 2016 as well, right? So I'm going to end the session from this point. Thank you very much for participating, and keep it up. You got only another 1 month of time, right? එහෙම මතක තියාගෙන යන්න, right? තව පොඩි කාලයක් තියෙන්නේ. මාස දෙකක් කියලා හිතන්න එපා. මාසෙයි තියෙන්නේ කියලා හොඳට වැඩ කරගෙන යන්න, right? Okay, thank you very much, people. Have a nice weekend. I'm going to upload the session to my website, so you can visit to the website and go to the Star Labs recordings and can find the recording at the very end, right? ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ එක තියෙන්නේ පහළ දැන් G11 sessions කියන එකේ තියෙන්නේ, right? So you can find the recordings from that particular place, right? Okay, thank you very much. I'll see you next week, right?
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, Vidala. Yeah, stay safe, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.